Hello and welcome to the MotoGP Spanish qualifying sessions number 1 and 2, which will be later on in the session. And if you just joined me from FP2, you'll know that currently Joshua Birch is at Donington for the opening round of the Touring Cars season, and I, Megan Birch, am currently running the streams for MotoGP, which honestly, if I'm running any stream, it's MotoGP I'm going to be comfortable with. And due to a crash in FP2, well, we had many crashes in FP2, but the one that caused a red flag, which I believe was Morbidelli's crash, which was the very first crash about 3.5 minutes into FP2, we have a delayed start. Well, we have been delayed, though technically we have nothing to worry about with timings because qualifying is always on directly after FP2. Pit lane is due to open in about a minute's time for this qualifying session. As Plug says, hello everybody, welcome to qualifying. And Q1 start time 10:55 local time at 3:55 PM Bangkok time, thank you. And Rin's crash is also quite big, says Sean1014. Yes, Rins had a crash which flung him into the barriers. He got up immediately, was perfectly fine. At the moment, I assume he is being checked out at the medical centre. But everything seems to be fine. His bike isn't fine, though. That also was flung into an air fence. Though I've never seen someone be so calm during an air fence. And what I'm noticing right now is the fact that there is no pictures for Joshua. So I'll have to sort that out a bit later. So it's about to start because, yeah, that is concerning. Joshua, if you're watching, I will sort that out after the first break. You're just going to have to listen to me for a while, though everything's fine. I'm the only one on this commentary anyway, so technically it's not even needed. Actually, I think that is what he said earlier on, but there was pictures before. Right, so this is a 15-minute qualifying 1. Currently out on the track are Binder, Bezzecchi, Miller, Vinales. Rins is obviously in the pit lane because he is probably either still getting his bike sorted or himself checked out by the medical centre, though he seemed perfectly fine. And it's an air fence, it's meant to be soft, and in fairness, it didn't actually look that hard when he was being thrown in, but then again, perception. Right, Ralph Fernandez is also in this session with Viagra Marini, Bastianini, Augusto Fernandez, Alicia Spargo, welcome back, at least for now, Salvadori and Chantra, and that is, I want to say Binder. And currently looking at Alicia's bike, and I'm very happy. And he looks fed up at the back of his garage. He looks very fed up. He's got his hands on his face, just thinking, when is this session going to start for me? When am I going to actually be able to go out? And that is exiting the pit lane, Vinales. Only 2 people in the pit lane are Alicia Spargo, who looks incredibly bored, and Rins, who, honestly, I won't put him in this session anyway, not after being chucked into an air fence. That did look brutal. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch that. Surprisingly enough, they did not replay that, which is unusual given that they replayed Alex's crash yesterday about 10 times. Weird. Right, 12 now, technically 13 minutes left to go of the qualifying session. Just getting their opening runs done with. And thank you for all who've joined from FP2, and thank you for all who've joining here for the first time today. Obviously Joshua is at Donington. I actually don't know what time the first race is. He did, thankfully, manage to get there in time. He didn't think he would, but thanks to a very kind bus driver, he did. And the fact that they were very early. So he's having a happy day so far, touch wood. And I was stressed this morning. So 12 minutes left to go of the session now, and I believe the times are about to start. Given with that, please don't tell me that's a crash. No, it's not a crash. Why show just a little bit of the screen of a bike being just walked in to a paddock if it's not going to be a crash? Right, starting the session, topping is, I believe it is Marini, who is first to top the session and get his time, which will be, it's an opening one, so it's not going to be that quick. His time is a 1:37.190. I stand corrected. Bastianini immediately takes over first position with a 1:37. What was that? 1:54. And Binder takes second with a 1:36.931. Miller takes first with a 1:36.630. They are really going through it in this qualifying session. See, now that they've got to actually something to do, they're all gunning for it. Though I wouldn't go that hard given the fact that you all seem to fall at turn 6. Those of you who watched the last session yesterday, I can't remember which session it was, I don't know why. It wasn't FP1, it was... Was it Sprint? No. It was one of the ones. It might have been Sprint Color, actually. The last session yesterday, they all kept slipping down at turn 6 due to what me and Joshua believe was oil on the track. And it looks like Vinales, Bezzecchi and Bastianini are all on course to actually setting a faster time than Miller, so we better not get too comfortable. And crossing the line now is Vinales with a 1:36.510. That is 10th faster than Miller's time, getting quicker and quicker out there. Really makes me wonder what Marc Marquez was being, why it took him so long to actually get a quick time if it's so easy to do apparently around this circuit. Bezzecchi goes second with a 1:36.559. Bastianini goes 4th. Chantra goes 10th. And I heard Alex Rins' name just then from the other commentators. I don't know what's wrong with Aleshia's bike, but they are not allowing him to leave the pit lane. Come on, he's bored. He wants to be out on the track. He's literally back. This is his first race back of the season out of, I believe Joshua said 5. He said to me yesterday, let him out for quali. There's only like less than 10 minutes left and they're not allowing him out into quali. Finally, Aleix gets to be let out and Rins still isn't there, so I'm guessing he is not allowed on the track after what happened in FP2. And I'll read you through who currently is in what position. Right, first two going into qualifying 2, it seems like, is Vinales and Bezzecchi, in that order. Then third is Miller, Bastianini is 4th, Binder is 5th, Fagura is 6th, Marini is 7th, Augusto Fernandez is 8th, Ralph Fernandez is 9th, that's not confusing. Chantra is 10th, Salvadori is 11th, and making his way round the track for the first time is Aleix Spargo, and Rins is still not there. Vinales beats his own time by 0.2 of a second exactly with a 1:36.310. That is impressive. I mean, Vinales always likes to show a bit of pace, I've noticed, during the qualifying sessions. Though I wish that he'd win a race again. He did well last week, though. He fought very hard. Was it last week or was it 2 weeks ago? Last round. He fought very hard in that race, but unfortunately was beaten by Mark. Right, 8 minutes left to go of the session. Entering the pits is currently Ralph Fernandez and Binder. Augusto Fernandez and Salvadori, apparently they want to take their mid-session lull a bit early, and I actually have just forgotten. I have not had any coffee today or eaten, so after this session I'm going to do both of those things. Have coffee. And medical director info, Rins has gone to the medical centre for a check, as we assumed, as we see Rins' bike, and honestly I'm very glad he went to the medical centre, because if he's going to get anything, I would say either winded or mild concussion, because he was thrown backwards into an air fence. So he seemed absolutely fine getting up, so he might not even have a concussion. Knowing these riders and their endurance of crashes, I mean, it's extensive since they are also crashing with the bike. And unlike in like an F1 car, they don't have the protection around them or things like the halo, they just get flung. Which, honestly, I wish there was like some sort of protection for them so that they, like with F1 drivers, have like a halo to protect them, but unfortunately, that's not how motorbikes work. Though I wish it was, because I think it would save them a lot of injuries. AKA Martin. He seems to be doing fine. Obviously not in the session because he's on recovery. Which, honestly, he came back way too early. And yes, I'm talking about this because it's the lull period in the qualifying sessions. And I did go in eventually during that break and get a drink. That is why the session was playing the end screen for so long. Unlike Joshua, I don't have someone to cook for me when I take a drink, so I can only do it really in this. I don't know how he's surviving at Donington consistently without having a drink constantly. I mean, I'm sure he does have a drink, but still, it's impressive. And Aleix Espargaro goes 8th with a 1:37.120, and that was the front almost buckling there for Aleix as he starts a new lap time. And I notice he's going very Lewis Hamilton with the helmet today. It's like he's got red and then he's got yellow. I mean, it's just very reminiscent. I'm wondering if he took any inspiration from Lewis at all with that. I mean, I would. It's a good helmet. Kind of reminds me of birthday cakes. I mean, I don't know, Joshua was talking about this the other day. Like, do you know those store-bought cakes with the red car, yellow helmet, those ones? It's just kind of reminiscent when I see red and yellow together, and it's quite nice. Right, so Winston qualify, one to the medical centre. My picks are Vinales and Miller from Shauntan 14. Yellow flag sector 3 and 4. And you got Vinales right so far. Right, who is that? Ooh, seems okay. More disappointed with himself than anything. And that is the number 79, and I believe that's Ayagura. Yes, Ayagura. It says 79 right there, though I don't believe it is Ayagura. Who is that? Who's crashed? I actually do not know, because it said on here 79 crashed, but he quite obviously hasn't. Alright, who has crashed? Is it Bastianini? Hold up. It's Salvadori. Salvadori is the one that crashed. I have no idea what was going on with the timings there and why it was showing that Ayagura was there, so I don't know. But Salvadori is the one who has crashed on the exit to Sector 3 and entrance to Sector 4, and he looks really disappointed in himself, especially since I believe he is only on occasional wildcard races type things. So that is really disappointing for Salvadori, though it is only qualifying. You still have that chance in the race and the sprint to actually get up to a nice fast time. I mean, this is quali. It's basically practice, and let's face it, Salvadori, you're in 12th anyway, so I bet it's annoying even more actually due to that, because you are fast sometimes. So I think it's the bikes he goes on actually. Right, 3 minutes left of this session, and currently Vinales and Bezzecchi are looking to go through into qualifying 2. And it's, saying Salvadori's down. Yeah, it took a while for me to figure that out. I should really, instead of relying on the TV pictures, to actually just go to my timing screens. But because I'm not sat down, it's not my go-to in my mind at the moment. So 3 minutes left of the session, and Bezzecchi is looking 74 thousandths faster than Vinales' time. So it's looking quite good for Bezzecchi. I mean, Bezzecchi's always really going for it as well. I mean, he really wants to be out of second and wants to be first, I reckon. Take that away from Vinales, and hit the curb slightly there, and just that kind of like ricocheted away from them. Managed to stay up though. That is impressive. And I believe Bezzecchi's teammate right now is Salvadori. Yeah, it is. So he is the only hope for their team during this qualifying session. So they need to get through. Binder is currently 20,000 off the pace of Vinales. I'll just check how Miller's doing. Miller is about to start a new lap. I think he was just on a slow lap. So we'll see how he's doing in a minute. Hope maybe he'll be right. Who do I think is going to go? I definitely think Bezzecchi's going to go through. So I'm going to go Binder. I'm going to go Bezzecchi and Binder. 2 B's. Oh, their first name initial spelled MB, like my name. Right, looking at Binder right now, actually, he's 32 thousandths of a second off the pace, what he is meant to be. And just checking up on my lead. Yep, my lead is perfectly fine so far. And it's... I think it's looking fine so far. Vinales is currently 52 thousandths of a second faster than his own time. I cannot speak today. That just means I probably need more water. Given, apparently this is the first drink I drank today. Yeah, that was right. Right, 52 seconds left of qualifying 1. Currently, only... Wait, what the... Rins is currently out on the track, according to this monitor. Rins is out on what seems to be an opening lap, doing quite well, so obviously he's been cleared from the medical centre to actually be able to make at least some effort during qualifying. He might just be able to get at least one run in. It would be hilarious if he managed to get into Q2, but only fast sector 1s for everyone right now. They all seem to have backed off. So it's looking like Vinales and Bezzecchi going into qualifying 2, still 8 seconds left. Marini goes 6th over 1:36.730, and I think that is Vinales increasing his time to 1:36.284. Checkered flag is now out for qualifying 1, and Salvadori obviously is out, and Rins is suddenly back in. It's like he saw an opening, and I think he just crossed the line, just not in time, or he might have done. He might have had a second left. I'm not sure. No, he did not cross the line in time, so he unfortunately does not get a time that is that good. 1:38.977 for Rins, which honestly, after being thrown into an air offence, respect for that you even came into qualifying 1. I mean, that is obviously has been cleared by the medical centre, but if I was him, I would have just been like, do you know what, I'm staying in bed. So respect to Alex Rins there. Right, so it appears like with no improvements that it is Vinales and Bezzecchi heading into qualifying 2, with Binder in 3rd, 4th is Miller Agures, 5th, Marini is in 6th, Ralph Hernandez is in 7th, Bastianini is in 8th, Alicia Spargo is in 9th, 10th is Augusto Fernandez, Chantra is 11th, Salvadori crashed and is in 12th, and Alex Rins, who only managed to get his opening lap done, is in 13th. So Vinales and Bezzecchi will be joining the ranks of qualifying 2, and I am very surprised that Rins actually made it into this. And there it is, Vinales with a 1:36.284. Hasn't quite beaten hasn't beaten the all-time lap record by Alex Marquez set yesterday, and I think that was set after he crashed multiple times. And here's Bezzecchi, who is also going through. I'm assuming they're all going to head into the pit lane so that the rest of the riders can head out and do their qualifying 1s. Though I'm not sure, is there a break in between this? I'm pretty sure that there is a break. Yeah, Hook says Alex Rins has been declared fit for sprint race or GP race. And there's Vinales and Bezzecchi into qualifying 2. And Vinales only did 2 runs of that today, so as I said, it's Bezzecchi and Vinales, with Binder, Miller, Igor Marini, Raul Fernandez, Sebastian Marini, Aleix Spargo and Augusto Fernandez, Chantra, Salvadori and Rins in that order. So 2 runs and he managed to actually get up there. Right, I will hand over to TNT for the duration of the break between the 2 qualifying sessions.
It looked exceptional, looked every bit a match for the Ducati, but he's just so in line, in control through these fast corners. He's got good stop and a little bit of slide from the rear. He turns, pivots, really fires off the turn. He looks strong. He looks as strong as Mark did yesterday in his rhythm. Maverick was strong there in the practice session, and that wasn't just one lap. It was consistent. Every time he put a time attack mode in there, it was fast. He is a good qualifier. He always gets through to Q2. I did say it in the practice session. I thought he would get through, and he did it with ease. And I think he can convert that into a challenge for the front row now, and qualifying is going to be so important here. Yeah,
it will be really interesting to see what he can do, especially with that run up to turn 1. It's, as you say, vital to get right up to the front, isn't it? And Bezzecchi finding something, it looked like perhaps again there.
Yeah, they've, at Aprilia, and especially Bezzecchi, they've unlocked some potential compared to yesterday. Yesterday looked like they were struggling. I mean, they've been struggling for the start of the season, but Bezzecchi was looking good. The bike is twitchy, though. We can still see, you know, that sort of DNA of that bike with some twitch at high speed, and on the brakes as well into the last turn. He was really putting everything on the line then, Bezzecchi, but definitely they made a step from yesterday. So more pace this morning with the race pace and more pace with the time attack. Just see how twitchy the bike is there. Oh, he just managed to bring it in for the last turn. He was behind Auguru as well. A good wheel, you know, when you see the private team bike just in front of you, it's a really strong motivation to go and try and qualify them. So yeah, great job by Bezzecchi and Aprilia.
Yeah, what is it about that bike that's protesting a little bit, Michael?
They've always struggled with the engine braking side of it, so as the wheel gets off the ground and touches back down, the strategy just doesn't allow it to be as controlled as the Ducati, for example. So it's nervous, but because the bike changes direction so good, it is agile, that makes it a little bit more twitchy, let's say. It is more reactive, so you can't have a really stable platform and something that flicks left or right. It's always a trade-off, but they've got their strengths and they can use them around here, but they need to improve the braking zones. I spoke to Paolo Bonora, and it's been the age-old story for like 2 years. They can't settle that braking zone phase. They just feel like they don't decelerate in the same meterage as a Ducati can.
Yeah, it's interesting, this track. Probably you have that massive compromise. Is Alex Rins just riding behind us, actually? Because it was interesting seeing that he'd gone to the medical centre. The next thing we know, he's going out and putting a couple of laps in. So as you can see, he's on a scooter. He looks okay, but he's just actually not been 100% for such a long time now.
No, it's been a struggle, you know, that leg injury that he sustained in Mugello some years back. Good to see him on a scooter though, not in pain, with no injury, because that impact into the air fence was really strong, you know, in the practice this morning. So yeah, for Alex, unfortunately, it's a bad qualifying. Didn't manage to pull up together, but at least he's healthy and yeah, looking like he'll be able to carry on his weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, fingers crossed. Brad Binder just missing out there, Jack Miller just missing out. Frustrating times, aren't they?
Yeah, and we know it's difficult to pass around this racetrack. If you're not in this Q2 session, you're on the 5th row of the grid at best, so it's tough for Jack and Brad because they have good rhythm. They both had good races here in the past. Looked like Jack had something, but the front protested a little bit the fast right, and that was it. It's such a fine margin around here, a little twitch, and you're not getting through to Q2, and it can derail your weekend. It leaves you on the back foot, which is a shame for both Jack and Brad, but I think Brad, especially this weekend, there's been some positive signs. He's gone back to a slight 24 spec with his KTM, looks more comfortable on the bike. He's got something he can race.
Which is what Pedro decided to do last time out in Qatar, wasn't it? Well, we've just seen Alex Rins, so we know that he's sort of okay, which is good. His teammate Fabio Quartararo was 5th fastest yesterday, but looked really strong in that free practice session, didn't he? Rachel is down in the box now, and she's talking to Maio Meregali.
Right, Maio, Alex, of course, pitted early there. I hear he went to the medical centre. I've just seen him walking around. Have you got an update for us?
Yeah, he did a couple of weeks trail, and luckily the knee is fine. Just probably scratch a bit the ligament. And then there is a little fracture to the 5th finger. But he just wanted to jump on the bike to get the feeling. For sure, at the moment it's difficult to say, but as he talk, I think he will like to do the sprint race this afternoon. Yeah, the corner where he crashed is not one of the best corner to crash. Luckily, it's not bad as it could be.
He'd like to do the race. Would the medical centre allow him to do the race? Would they just strap up his fingers? Would that be the plan?
Because it's just a little crack. It's not a fracture. Just there is a sign, and they just let him to try. And also we have our doctor, and they both agree. And you know, they want to jump on the bike as soon as possible to try to forget it immediately.
Well, let's talk about Fabio now, because yesterday he was excellent. He said he didn't expect to go that fast. Did you expect him to go that fast?
Not either, but since the beginning of the FP1, we saw where last year we were losing, and we were not losing. And he confirmed that, anyway, the trend that we start showing in the last races, it's true. The bike is turning more. He has much more confident, and mainly where we were losing last year was the last sector, and it is the fastest, where you have to have the trust, you have to have the confidence, and the bike has to turn. And yesterday he said even if the grip was not fantastic, but the bike was turning much better than last year. And here is a place where he really like. I think it's a compromise.
It's been called a Yamaha track. Good luck in this qualifying session. Let's hope you go well.
Thank you very much.
So it sounds like a hairline fracture in the hand for Alex Rins, and straight back.
Right, so given that qualifying 2 is about to start, I shall take back over. Right, so timing screens have now officially changed, and qualifying 2 is underway, and Alex Rins doesn't really seem to be having a great time of it, does he? Given what we have just heard in this qualifying 2 session. Circuit pole sitters for the past few years have been Marc Marquez, Aleix Espargaro, Bagnaia, Quartararo, and then Quartararo. So Quartararo usually has quite a good time around this circuit, but hold on, let me just get my screen sorted out. And in this session we have Alex Marquez, Bagnaia, Morbidelli, Marc Marquez, Quartararo, Aldeguer, Zarco, Acosta, D'Antonio, Mia, Vinales, and Bezzecchi. All of these people are people who have been crashing consistently throughout this weekend so far, so please do not crash at the rate you have been crashing at. Or not at all, either way. I'll take either option. Just please. Really not have a red? I'd rather not have a red today. Right, so rather than making their way around the circuit for their opening laps. I mean, Quartararo seems to be very late out of the pit lane there. Obviously didn't want to run into too much traffic with everyone around him, which very understandable, especially given the fact that he's got form at the circuit. Right, everyone seems to be going into their final sectors, get their first outlap runs completed with, and it's we're getting times round about now. Yep. Here they are, all appearing on the screen. Right, 13 minutes left of this session. 2 minutes really just flew by just then. And here they are. The timings that we are so desperate to see. Or at least I'm so desperate to see because I've got to talk about them. Right, 13 minutes left. I wonder how Joshua's getting on. And that was a little bit of a wobble there for Mark going around that corner. Just keep an eye on that. It's always Mark's rear wheel that seems to just tire. That seems to just be wobbling a bit too much. Same with Acosta's front wheel. Don't know what is going on with all of these. What compounds is he actually using? Because it might be the compounds. He's using a soft rear and a medium front. So that could explain it. Everyone seems to be kind of a mix of compounds, I would say, right now. I mean, we're all the same, but in like the different stages. It's like not everyone has... A lot of them have gone for like at least one lap. Right, so 12 minutes left and should be getting the timings about now. Given the fact that they are in the final sector. And it's always so frustrating having to wait for this bit because I generally don't know what to talk about. Given the fact that it's showing me people who aren't making mistakes. Though, see, is that Alex and Mark right next to each other? It is. Alex and Mark are right next to each other. Please do not be a repeat of yesterday and when you're next to each other, you both seem to just... one of you falls. Right, first times are up. Mark is currently top with a 135.643, looking behind him for some other reason. Alex is second with a 136.460. Mia is third. Morbidelli is fourth. Bagnaia is in fifth. Zarco is in sixth. Antonio is in seventh. Valdegur is in eighth. Pezecchi is ninth. And Acosta is in 10th. But for some reason, on these timing screens, it just says 1 and then 0, 0. Not 100. I mean, there's no 0. I am going to take a picture of that because that's actually quite funny because apparently now there are 2 first places. And this is what I have to deal with when you're away, Joshua. They're strange timing glitches. What is going on? Right, Quartararo currently on board with him and he is 2.5 tenths down and there it is. They're taking the timing screen down right now so that they can actually fix it. So I'm hoping, yeah, there we are. It's all nice and fixed. I must have forgotten to add a number. Quartararo is now 4 tenths down. Jeez, what has happened in that third sector? Let's face it, it's third sector. Goes second though with a 135.872, which means Mark's gone first with a 135.643. Vinales goes third with a 135.876. And here is Alex Marquez going into second position with a 135.872. Then, oh, we have a lot of people. Must be packed racing at the moment. Morbidelli goes up into third. Bagnaia goes up into fifth. Pezecchi in eighth. Acosta is in 10th. And Antonio maintains his place in 12th. And I definitely need a drink after that. And that's the... One of the VR46s just looked around very nervously. I honestly wonder why they look around so much. I mean, I get they have to be wary of each other, but there's no one behind you, and you can hear there's no one behind you. Currently looking at Quartararo, who is 2.5 tenths down on Marc Marquez's time. 9.5 minutes left of today's session. And Vinales is 4 tenths down. Ooh, and that was very close there for Quartararo. Got a little bit too far on the curbs and almost lost it. Regained it quite quickly though. I mean, he's used to this circuit. It's quite a bumpy circuit as well. I mean, even the pit lane, when you're exiting it, is bumpy. And just gonna have to take this off. 7 programs are slowing your PC. Yeah, I am well aware of this. I am well aware. Right, so what is this? All-time lap record. He's taken it away from his brother, according to a plug for Marc Marquez with a 135.643. He has taken away his brother's time, which he only set yesterday. I mean, that is just the definition of an older sibling. Let's face it. And here is Alex Marquez entering the pit lane, and it's probably going to have a talk with Mark just like, you couldn't let me have it for a full 24 hours. I mean, that is kind of rubbing it in now. It's like with yesterday when he crashed and Alex crashed and he was top, and then immediately after he crashed, Mark just took first position. I mean, he likes to take things away from Alex, doesn't he? I mean, that is just hilarious, honestly. That is hilarious. But it's just so predictable of just siblings. Right, entering the lull period. This has gone quite quickly so far, I would say, for qualifying 2. And I notice I'm standing really far close to here because that's where my timing screens are right now, because I don't have this one, because honestly, I reckon my laptop would be even more slow. But then again, I don't know what it means about it being slow. I mean, it seems to be working fine, touch wood. Right, 7.5 minutes left of the session, and that is Alex Marquez looking at the times and realising that his brother has taken his spot of the record holder, and probably about to do it again because he's about to exit the pit lane. Yep. Vinales, Martin, and who's that about to exit right there? That is Bagnaia and Bezzecchi and Zarco also exiting for their second runs. And it's right a strip, right in front of one of the VR46s of D'Antonio from Alex Marquez there. That's not sabotage, I don't know what is. Morbidelli also exits the pit lane, and there's only 3 riders who are currently remaining in the pit lane, and Vinales decided to actually come back in, which is strange given he must have not got far out of the pit lane. So I wonder whether there's a technical issue with his bike right now, which has prevented him from leaving, though he was leaving. I saw him trying to exit the pit lane and it came up. Right, Acosta also is deciding to remain in the pit lane, probably all going for late runs. And here's Quartararo exiting the pit lane, so don't know why Acosta's still in there. Right, no one seems to be improving, obviously, given it's their first outlap runs from the pit lane. Almost done with those, though, and a nice little shot of the Marquez's right there, and I can just sense that Alex is desperate to get his fastest lap back. I mean, he already beat his own fastest lap, I'm pretty sure, in this session, but now it's just even more beaten. And I'm pretty sure Alex is the one who beat Bagnaia. So that's Marquez beating the person who was his brother, who beat his teammate. Where is the loyalties? I don't know. Right, so 5 minutes left of the session now, and starting their fast lap runs right now, and I need a drink. I really should have had coffee beforehand, but I didn't think, so I was watching Doctor Who. Right, so let's look how Mark does through Sector 2. Because, as we all know, Sector 3 has been causing a lot of problems. Let's also look how Bagnaia is doing, because Bagnaia is currently estimated to be first, given he is 8 thousandths of a second faster than Mark's time, and Mark is actually a 10th and a half faster than his first time. So let's just say he's estimated to be second instead, not Mark, Bagnaia. And my phone is just going off on one right now. This is my university friends. Right, so 4.5 minutes left of the session. Bagnaia is 88 thousandths off the time that Marquez set. It frustrates me because Martin and Marquez, they're the same thing. I don't know why, with the 3 letters. The only way you tell the difference is by the first one and their number. And obviously Martin is not in, so I don't know why I keep making that mistake. It's twice today. Right, Bagnaia significantly slowed since his third sector, and I just saw someone fall there on the time screen. Right, so Marc Marquez currently, that's 10th faster than his previous time, so he's really rubbing it in Alex's face because Alex is currently a 10th slower. Right, times are changed now. Morbidelli goes up into 4th, D'Antonio goes into 6th, and Mia goes up into 9th position, and that's Mark about to cross the finish line. No, he's just crossed the finish line with a 1:35.730. I'm pretty sure that's slower. Bagnaia goes second with a 1:35.755. And that is quite a fast lap so far for Alex Marquez. I mean, he is looking to take that position back away from Mark when it comes to the lap record. And that is Quartararo seeming to gain a bit more pace in the final sector compared to Sector 3. And goes second with a 1:35.684. And Yamaha will be very pleased about that, especially given they haven't had the greatest day. Alex Marquez is currently 16 thousandths off the pace. And what's happening? Oh, that is very unfortunate for Alex. He has had to back out of his lap time, given he had to get out of the way of, it appears, one of the VR46s, and his teammate. He had to get out of the way of one of his teammate of Aldeguer, and I believe it was Morbidelli he had to also get out of the way of, and he did not look very happy about that. Oh, that was a really good lap time as well, it looks like, from Alex. Poor Alex. So, have to go on a slow one now, currently looking at Aldeguer, and he's got a better lap time than his teammate will end up having. Quartararo is currently a 10.5 faster than the lap time of Marc Marquez. Vinales 34 thousandths faster than Marc Marquez. And let's see how that goes once you exit Sector 3, Vinales. Though Quartararo is estimated to be first position as he's exited Sector 3 with a entire 10th ahead of Marc Marquez. So new lap record probably go to Quartararo, though not if Marc has anything to say about it. Probably immediately going to do a fastest lap again afterwards. Right, so Quartararo crosses the line and goes top with a 1:35.610 and creating a new lap record that is 33 thousandths of a second faster than Marc's time, and this is the last flying lap that any of them can do right now. So better hope you're not just starting your lap, because unless you want to get that top position, you're not going to get it unless you're in like sectors 3. 30 seconds left of the session for qualifying 2, and it looks like Quartararo will take the pole position, given that Marc has not started a new lap time yet. And he only has... He is not going to... I think he's just going to be out of it. Marc Marquez will probably not start on pole position for the Spanish Grand Prix. And the sprint, probably. Is he starting on the sprint? I don't know. I'll check in on that later, given I probably will have to do some form of notes. Because usually Joshua does that for me, but he's not here. Checkered flag is currently out, and... Ooh! Marc does just miss out on the second lap and beats his dog in frustration afterwards. About half the riders have crossed the finish line now, and only one person looks to be improving at all, but Acosta is seeming to have stopped. There he is. Acosta has gone onto the gravel and on the escape road, so he is not going to improve at all. Quartararo finishes in first for qualifying 2, and look at the pleased face, and he's punching his fist in the air. He gets qualifying pole. Well, he gets pole for the race for the 3rd time in a row. This is Yamaha's first pole since 2022 Indonesian Grand Prix. It's been 1,134 days since then, and the look on Fabio Quartararo's face is just one of absolute joy. Right, so Quartararo finishes in first, and meaning he gets pole position for the race tomorrow and possibly the sprint race. Have to look into further onto that with a 1:35.610, also gaining the lap record, which has been beaten twice in the past day. Marc Marquez is in second with a 1:35.643. Bagnaio's in third with a 1:35.755. Alex Marquez is in fourth. Morbidelli is in fifth. Sixth is Vinales. Aldeguer is in seventh. 8th is Antonio. Mia is in 9th. 10th is Zarco. Bezzecchi is 11th. And Acosta is in 12th with his atrocious last lap, which cost him gaining any more points. And there it is, new all-time lap record for Fabio Quartararo with a 1:35.610. And he looks so pleased with himself right now. Obviously, has not been the greatest couple of years, well, greatest few years for Yamaha. So I'm imagining the entire team, despite only being a pole position, will be celebrating tonight, because this is some form of victory. Because they've managed to get really well throughout this session today, at least in Quartararo's terms, and wins managed to rejoin at some point, even after being flung into a barrier, doing practice starts right now. But you can just see the excitement buzzing through Quartararo just right now. I mean, he's got his visor down now, but he just tried to do a wheelie. So it's quite expressive right now. And that's Marc Marquez taking off his helmet after coming in second. And what? I'm sorry, what? The number 73, Alex Marquez, why are you in third position? You are not in third, that is Bagnaia. There is Quartararo being pushed back. Has he lost? He's either lost the capability of the engine or he's run out of fuel. Honestly, I don't know which one to believe at this point. So, Alex, why are you in the top 3? Why are there 4? Is this usual? I don't remember. I don't usually stay for this part, I don't think. So there's 4. There's 4 currently in the box. Why is Alex there? I mean, I know Mark's there, but still. They're not joined at the hip. I'm going to have to ask Joshua about that later. Why was Alex there? It's like, not even the same team. So it can't be just walking and congratulating. I am so confused right now. Is everyone else confused? I'm confused. First pole position, first pole of the season. Congrats, Fabio. Yeah. Just reading through. Mark just won that 46 BMW. Right, so this is the end of the session. Please go. I'll read through once again the positions of everyone from this session, with Quartararo in first on pole position, Marc Marquez in second, Bagnaia is in third, Alex Marquez is in fourth, Morbidelli is in fifth, Vinales is in sixth, seventh is Aldeguer, Antonio is eighth, ninth is Mia, Zarco is in 10th, Bezzecchi is 11th, and 12th is Acosta. Right, thank you for joining me for the qualifying session today. I don't know whether they do interviews, but I'm just checking when the next thing is. I believe at 10 to 3 is when we next go live for the Tissot Sprint, which is in 3 hours' time. So join us in 3 hours for the sprint race. I just heard a door. So thank you for watching this today. I keep hearing noises outside. Thank you for watching, and yes, I have muted the background noise because it's the end of the session. Thank you for watching. Please go over to JB Motorsports 1 to actually watch Joshua live at Donington and the races which are going on there, and Joshua doing interviews. It feels weird for me not to be knowing what Joshua is doing right now, but I'm sure he is having fun with it right now. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.